Welcome to today's episode of Gen 5 Resto Mods. I'm Dave White and I'm your host. Today we're going to go over the C8 intake retrofit to the L83. So there's two pieces, of course. This is the cover. Comes off. And this is the little devil itself. These are readily available. I got this at Summit. The idea came from me from Mitch down at Swap Time USA. He's down in Vegas. He's done it. So you might want to check his channel out, Swap Time USA. He's another Gen 5 purveyor like myself. So this requires a modification to the underside here. This piece in here, I'm going to go and cut it all or grind it all down, and because it hits the high pressure fuel pump in the back. I'll show you the stock one. It also requires a new throttle body, which is the 6.2 throttle body versus the 3.5 that comes on the standard L83. This is the L83 stock intake manifold. As you can see in this section right here, this is where I have to remove some plastic in the C8 one because it dips down. The other issue is the insulation. So this sits between the high pressure, this is where the high pressure lines go, pump and stuff in, and it insulates the noise from the tappets and the lifters, which is, I don't know, we'll see on this one. I removed this on the stock LS3 and you can definitely hear it. So I'm going to try to see if I can save some of this stuff. I might be able to cut these sections out and save them. I'd like to put as much insulation back in as possible. But one of the cool things about it is that the intake runners are the same. So like these gaskets here, I'm going to take these gaskets or O-rings and put them into the other C8, and then of course this is the smaller throttle body. This is where the map sensor went on the stock one, so I've removed the map sensor and I'll show you how I installed it on the other one. Okay, so here's a comparison of the stock L83 here and the C8. We've done a little surgery, and this is the issue right here. So that's where the high speed or high pressure pump goes in, which is this port over here, which mirrored over here. So it's about 4¼ inches and about 1 inch or so. It lines right up with this edge right here. So this is the culprit area. Probably about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch too high. So what Mitch did, and I'm going to do the same thing with a little different version. I think what he did, he bolted down some washers in this area and then just clamped it down with a heat gun. But I think what I'm going to try to do the same thing, but I'm going to use my clamps and do it stationary on the bench and see how that works. Okay, here we are with our, not sure what I'm going to call this, MacGyver C8 manifold hack. And I pushed it down. You can see down the bottom over here, I've cut those ribs down because they're reinforcing. And this is that's a cool old welding vice grip that I bought at a yard sale like 20 years ago. I think this is the first time I've used it. So it comes through. So take your heat gun and just melt this thing here. Oh, you know, it takes a couple times to get it whacked, get down there. You know, I'm hoping I won't break the thing. It flexes quite a bit, and I've tested it already once and it's close. So anyway, this is the solution that I'm doing anyway, to force that down another 1/4 inch or so to clear your high pressure fuel pump. Alrighty now, there it is. It's in place. You can tell that it fits right because when you dry fit it, I'm not using the gaskets, the O-ring gaskets. And once I put the gaskets in, I could hear that, you know, there was no clanging or anything, so that I cleared it in the back. One thing that's really interesting, which I didn't realize, is that even though this is this 6.2 throttle body, the 5.3 bolts right up. It's the same bolt pattern, and the seal, the O-ring, works. So I thought that was really interesting. It's 3.5 to 4 inches. So it's just this venturi portion here that is larger. But I'm going to still go from a 4 to 3.5 on the intake. I know that's what Mitch did. And one last thing I wanted to point out is this is where the map sensor ends up over here. Manifold atmospheric pressure. And you need to extend it or figure out what you want to do in terms of lengthen the wires to make it fit. Mitch makes a harness that accommodates that if you tell him you're going to do the C8. Anyway, that wraps up today's C8 manifold installation on the L83. If you've got any more questions, you can go to automobileman.com and download the Gen 5 installation guide. It's 32 pages, chock full of tricks, parts, and information so that you too can build a supercar in your garage. See ya.